Hello, assalamu alaikum. So we meet again for another lesson. I hope you guys are doing well too. Okay, so this will be a follow-up of the previous lesson that we had, which involves present simple question. The does and do, remember? Does and do. Creating questions. So for this follow-up lesson, we will be including time expression in your question. So I will explain a bit before we proceed any further. Before we proceed to your exercise, I will explain on this in, at, on. Okay. So I'll go with in first. I don't want to waste any more time. I'll just make it short and sweet. So in is normally used to describe time that is normally longer. For example, the holidays, the summer, which is a long time. You can also describe time of day, the evening. So here should be in whenever you see this kind of words, I think. And the holiday, this time, the summer, the evening, you should be using in. Another example is in the morning, in the afternoon. Okay. The second, at. At is normally used for time. For example, here 6 a.m., 2:30 p.m. So you should be using at whenever you see time. For example, I will see you at 6 a.m. Can we go there at 2:30 p.m.? Okay, so for on is normally used for days or weekdays or weekend. So on is here on weekdays, on Mondays, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, for days. However, for this example, if you notice, there's this weekend also. There's also this weekend. But this one, you should be using at. Why? Because it has this is like special case of sort. Has the before this. If you want to use the before weekend, you should be using at instead of on. You cannot be using on if you put the before weekend. Same goes for New Year. You will say at New Year. We gather at our parents' house at New Year. Okay, normally you would say on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day, you will use on if you have a specific day of the New Year. For example, New Year's Eve, malam tahun baru, ataupun New Year's Day, on New Year's Day, probably, I think. Okay, so yeah. Okay, just to make it clearer for you, let's just discuss this exercise question. In, at, on, the answer. Okay, number one, for example, I play video games then the weekend. If you notice, weekend here has the, like I have explained it earlier. If you see the before weekend, you should be using at. If you don't see any the, you can go with on weekend. But in this case, they have the, so the answer should definitely be at. Okay, number two, Rajesh cleans his room then the evening. Evening's time of day. So when it comes to time of day, in the morning, afternoon, in the evening, yeah. So the answer should be in. Number three, my family goes to the beach the holidays. The holidays is a long period of time, so as I've mentioned just now, you should be using in. The online class starts, there's a time here, 10 a.m. So you should be using example number 2, at. See here? Example number 2, at. So number 5, she waters the flowers there's a time of day, the morning, so you should be using in. Number 6, Fiona goes swimming Sunday. Sunday is like days, so days uses on. Number 7, the shop opens at 12 p.m. 12 is a time, so when it comes to time, definitely at. Number 8, my grandfather jogs weekdays. Weekdays, there's no "the" before this, so you should be using on. Number 9, we gather at our parents' house at New Year. So why aren't you using on for New Year? Because as I've mentioned just now, you can only use on if there is a specific day after New Year. For example, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. If there is no specific day in the sentence, so you should be using at New Year. Okay. So number 10, my appointment is Tuesday is a day, so you should be using on Tuesday. Okay, so there goes the example. If you don't understand, you can always go back, rewind this video and try to make sense out of it. Okay, so the key point for this lesson is, these phrases in this box. When it comes to time of day, like the evening, the morning, you should be using in, or maybe a long period of time. The summer, should be using in. When it comes to time, you should be using at. When it comes to days, you should be using on. Okay, so remember this, because these phrases will be crucial for you to include in today's task, which will be this task. Okay, for this task you will have to create questions using do and does, don't forget that, and also you must include these key phrases here, in the evening, at, on. So you have to put this in your questions. They give you like few phrases, few words here. For example, number 1, what, do. So you have to create questions using the words that they have already given. You can write here, what does she? You're using she, so the verb to do should be does. If you use what do she do, is wrong, because do is for plural. So here she is singular, so you should be using does. Remember, what does she do at the weekend? See, I'm using at the weekend. You can also use what does she do at 6 a.m. maybe? See? It depends on you, but make sure you use this time expression. So try to give your own answer, your own creative answer. She, maybe you could say, she, use present simple, don't use past tense. She goes to the park. Present simple. Settle. Okay, so that's how you create questions and answer for this exercise. Okay, so for the following, this you do your own questions based on these words or phrases they give to you, and try to include these time expressions that we have learned just now using in, at, on. Okay, now comes the best part. Okay, for the second task, I want you to imagine having an interview with your favorite celebrity. See this? Whoa, you can choose any celebrity. It can be local or international. So you know celebrity, right? Celebrity is like famous person For example, in Malaysia, we have like Siti Nurhaliza, Hil Hussaini, Ismail Zani. Okay, so that is a celebrity. For international, we have so many. Maybe any TikTokers that you know, any YouTubers you can put in, ninjas, maybe BTS, you know, Blackpink, Lisa Blackpink, I guess. So you put in here the names of your celebrity, chosen celebrity, the day, the time. There are like 2 days here, so ignore it. Just do any one of it. Time, venue is like place. Where does the interview take place? Okay, and then question. What would you like to ask your celebrity, your chosen celebrity? Any question that you deem fit, the one that you think suitable for you to ask your celebrity. For example, if you go with Lisa Blackpink, maybe you would like to ask, how do you learn to dance? How do you feel to be in a Blackpink group now? What do you normally eat on weekend? See, include everything that we have learned before. Okay, and lastly, second part of this second task, draw a picture. Yay! Draw a picture of the celebrity that you have interviewed. You may also opt to draw things related to the celebrity. For example, if you choose Iron Man suit for Robert Downey, if you choose Robert Downey Jr., you may draw him as an Iron Man. Okay. If you choose Lisa, as I've mentioned just now in the example, maybe you could use. You could draw Lisa in her Blackpink suit, costume, dancing on the stage or something. Use your creativity, okay? So that will be it. 2 tasks. One for this one. This is like the first task. And this will be like the second task of the day. Okay, so I will provide this, I will upload this on Google Classroom. You can just download it and print it and do this task and turn it up again. Send in the assignment in the Google Classroom and I will check as soon as possible. So good luck, have fun, and don't forget to do this. And yeah, bye bye.